Plug this thing in so it doesn't die. Wrong cord. What up, everybody? Moderation. Close. I need to stop hitting that desk so the camera stops moving. What up, everybody? Waiting for a few people to jump in here. Let me post a link. Let me post a link to this on my Instagram. Don't see nobody yet. What up? Hey, what up, Brent? What up? How's it going, brother? Just posting a link to this in the chat. I'm going to shut the door here. Still like 90 degrees in my shop today, so it's a little warm. Been getting a little bit of work done on that now that I've had a few cars out of here and a little bit of free time. I got Cletus's car over getting the motor done, so it how do I find this? Anyways, just chilling, making AI videos. We were cooked, yeah. Dude, those AI videos are sick. I love it. I've been messing with that thing every freaking day. Let's see who else is in here. Well, let's talk SpeedFest while we're. Oh wait. Jump back here. Grab my jewelry. Check that out, guys. I'm so freaking proud of this. You guys have no idea. So I think it's going to end up on the wall there next to my PFI flag, but somewhere up there, and hopefully there's a bunch more to go with it. So good things coming for my car for sure. Let me post a link to this on my Instagram. See if we can get some more people in here. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. I'll put it to live chat. All right. Let's share this fucking thing. Maybe that button. Hang on a minute, guys. I'm going to share this thing real quick. While that's sharing, who else is in here? Oh, there's the link right there. Cool. Sorry, I keep hitting my table and it's moving my laptop. Yeah. All right, shine that. I'll do it on my phone. So yeah, I got a bunch of stuff working. I'm changing a few things in the transmission. You already know what I'm talking about. What you working on? I've been working on that. Trying to get my buggy together. It's close this. There. Move over there. So getting that thing done. I just got my tires from Rogue today. Went and picked those up. I got the paddles on the back, and it's coming along. It's almost done. I'm fired up. I cannot wait. We're gonna take as soon as it's finished. I got like 5 guys that are wanting to go out with me, and we're gonna go shake our cars down, leave it like 3 in the morning, and just get out there before it gets too hot. What's the setup in that? It's a 440 cubic inch LSX built by CBM. made 580 on pump gas and like 560 torque on a hub dyno. So it made it on 85. It's 12.5 to 1 compression. So we had to pull a ton of timing out of it to run it on pump gas. So I'm putting it on, made a bigger fuel cell for it, and we're going to put it on E85. Should probably pick up another 80 to 100 horsepower. So close to 700 naturally aspirated. It's Cali's rods, Cali crank, diamond pistons. Like the when it comes to a naturally aspirated LS, it's the best of everything. Jared, what up, brother? How's it going, man? I'm going to try to share this on my Instagram real quick on my phone. See if this works. Content. Community. I need that for Skitty. Yeah, that motor was in a car that we built for a customer. Mario, what up, dude? Yes, that is the San Limo from Race Week, bro. It's definitely undergone some surgery and lots of changes. Going just headed home from the shop. Right on. Yeah, I'm out in my shop now. It's still 91 degrees in here. I just turned the air on, and it's been smoking the last couple of days here in Arizona, like 115, 113. It's hot as shit. Like so hot you don't want to do anything. And my brand new work van, it's a Ford Transit. It has 2,000 miles fired up. It's not wired yet. So as soon as I finish wiring, Jamie and I just got back from Morgan's. Oh, right on. Yeah, I saw that you had your car apart, Jared. What happened to it? You had the tranny off and the cylinder head off. Not good, I take it. If you were at Morgan's, you were having the transmission gone through. Dude, that fucking sunk a sleeve. That sucks. That's what happened to my my GSR motor, my first one. But it happens. Be interesting. Do you know who sleeved that block? What sleeves were in it? Were they just LAs or? Yeah. Hell yeah, Mario. You guys should all come out. Oh, and the date for that deal, Brent, I'll text you the date. I'll text you the date for that Glamis thing. It's the weekend before Halloween. I think it'll be pretty epic. So I want a date. No, I meant the date for when everyone's coming out to Glamis. So I just didn't want to say it in here. But it'll get out. Everyone will know that everyone's going to be out there. So, yeah, maybe. Well, let's try holding hands first, bro. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's stuff that runs here. We're going to do burnout in that. My Chevelle's sitting right outside the door here. We can do burnouts in that. That's got a LS in it. Yeah. I got a, dude, I got plenty of cars here to do burnouts in. Oh, are you mean right now? Let's go do live burnouts. Oh, geez. Live burnouts. Wow. That's, well, I'm not using my phone. I'm on my laptop, so I'd have to drag it out there. Next live, I'll do it on my phone, and we'll do that. That's a great idea. We'll take a ride in Chevelle and go do some burnouts. What up? What else is going on with you guys? Dude, Brent, SpeedFest was such a vibe, bro. I could have not raced at all that weekend. That was just such a good, what a great turnout and a great event, dude. I cannot wait for Pueblo. I'm in my underwear watching you. Oh, well, okay. It is. It's an hour later in Colorado. You were so worried. Um, it was such a vibe. It was freaking yeah. Yeah, I had a blast there. Like I said, I could have not raced at all, and I would have had just the same amount of fun. You know, racing and winning helps too, but um, definitely, I love that track. It's my favorite. Oh, thank you. Um, I actually like Great Bend too. Um, do you know when they're going to open that place back up? You're not missing the next one. Yeah, I know. You're coming for sure. Gimpy over there couldn't make it. Have a great band. Jared, dude, I am so stoked. Thank you again, dude, for helping me at the last minute there with that cam seal. That dude, that was you came in clutch, bro. We were talking about him. Yeah. Dude, yeah, I'm totally stoked. And then I got some stuff in the works for the next event. So um, it's pretty crazy that I don't know. Rafa's car is stupid fast, like stupid fast. What did he qualify in Pueblo? Like 850 something? It's crazy. You were like a car out and he pulled you in. Yeah, the reason he did that is because of my gearing. Those of you guys that don't know, he went 8.8. Okay, so yeah. The gearing in my car is set up for a road race car. It's a Liberty gear synchro gear set that I've had for 20 plus years. And when I put my car back together, I just wanted to use everything that I had already without having to spend a ton of money to put something together. Oops, sorry about the shaking camera again. And I use that Liberty gear set. Unfortunately, it's just not that great for the quarter mile. I kind of put that front half with the back half, another one of my passes, and I probably would have ran 920 in the quarter on that pass. Had everything went well down the track, but it still won't get me the mile per hour I need because that gear set is just wrong. So I do have some things coming for it. Luckily, it's not a dog set, so it doesn't have to be Liberty synchro gears if I change the gear set or change a few of the gears. It can be any synchros. So I got something coming for it, and it's gonna make it change. I know a lot of you guys told me that it always looks like my car noses over in third gear, and I never really noticed it because I'm driving the car. But when you watch it on video, you can kind of see it's accelerating hard, and then when I go into third, it like you said, it noses over. Well, if you look at the data, the RPMs keep climbing, but the gear stack is so short that I don't gain the mile per hour that I need. And again, because that gear set is designed for road racing, that's why. So do I run a draggy? No, I do not, but I do. I am going to get one. I put the front half of that pass together with the back half of a 960 pass that I ran here at home. And what FT? Yeah, I'm on the FT 550. Yeah, I'm on the F550 with the A and B harness. So we're running sequential injection and coils. But it's crazy, like, when you think about my setup, like, I was talking with Tom the other day, and the car runs so good and made such good power, and beat up Blake. I don't want to beat up Blake, man. I want to race with Blake. I want to go heads up with him, and I want us to be side by side, man. That's what it's all about. Does it log G meter? I don't know if it's turned on or not. I'll have to. I think Brent can chime in there to see if it logs G meter. I could go back through some logs and look. It should. I mean, I think it does. I just don't know if it's turned on. Beat up Blake. Mario, don't be mean, man. Blake's a cool kid. I like him. Oh, Mario, PM me your address, dude. I got some hat. It's always on. Okay, cool. I got a hat for you. So PM me your address and I'll get you a hat out. So like I said earlier, we're talking about how really simple my setup is. And it's really just the block is sleeved, but it's just a straight liner in that block. That'd be cool to see how much it's affected by the. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at the logs. You get a hat. Everyone gets a hat. Actually, I stole your hat. Yeah, you remember that? You got a hat. You got a Glamis Fab hat in Florida. I'll get you a Dunatic one too. I'll just bring a bunch when I come up. So like how basic my setup is really. It's got a, Pro 2s that I got from Chris. FT550 with the AB harness. That's a literally bone stock GSR head with some valves in it because we bent valves and springs and retainers. Like no porting, no crazy. Like it's got a 3-angle valve job. It's nothing insane. Like really basic stuff. And then it's got a liner. It's sleeved, but they're liners. They're straight liners. And then it's just an 81 millimeter low compression deal with a set of rods and a stock crank. And it's really, really basic, and it makes great power. And I can't wait to push the limits of it once I get this gear set deal done. And if I get that 2,500 pound pig to go 890, that would be an accomplishment for me. A 4-cylinder Honda that has a trailer hitch on it, running 890. That's my goal. The temp down here, it's 90 in my shop right now. It was 113 today. At least he admits stealing my hat. I don't know. We were all pretty fired up in the hot tub that night. I don't think anybody remembers much of anything that night. That wasn't the singing night, though. First step is acceptance. Yeah, mid-90s here today. Toasty. Yeah, it's hot, dude. Like hot enough to where you really don't want to go out and do stuff. Like I have a mini split AC thing on the wall over there, and it has trouble keeping up. Another karaoke night. That was a lot of fun. Who else is in here? Only 13 people in here. Let's get a few more. Let's see if I can't link this to my Instagram. Hold on a minute. I'm still new to this YouTube thing. I just got so much going on. I could do a double. Yep, that's crazy. Let me just put the link up. Jesus, you just needed to. Jesus, you just needed to upload, so. Brent, we're going to see you behind the wheel this year. Yeah. What's up with that? That's what I want to know. And I get it, right? Brent's a shop owner. And when I was, like, my car never ran either. It's when you've got the time, you don't have the money. When you have the money, you don't have the time. When the shop's busy, you're making good money. You can afford to buy car parts. But when you have the time to work on it, it's hard to balance it all. I totally understand it. But again, I've told you a million times, Brent, I will come out there, no car, no race, nothing, and I'll help you get a car, whatever you need. You just let me know. I'll jump on a plane, I'll fly out, I'll drive out, whatever. And I'll help you put something together so you can drive. I'm always down for that. Heck yeah. Ben's going to drive my car. I can't shift. Yeah. Trips on the balance part. Growth is great, but I'm working on it. Yeah, it's rough, dude. I totally understand it. Let's see here. Share this. Copy link. Go to my Insta. Put up some stupid photo. Done. Let me throw the link up here. I can't type either. I'm just pretending to be handies. Link. Here we go. Paste. There we go. All right. Mario, get your shit together. How does the bug run? The bug run's good. That thing's a ripper. I just fired it the other day. I had to put some push rod tubes in it, but I haven't. Well, I've only told a few people, but the bug is technically no longer mine. It's going to a new home. Anytime, brother. Anytime. Glamis starts in October, dude. Come down and we'll go rip the sand car. Yep, it's crazy that the bug is going to a new owner. I didn't sell it. I traded it. And I kind of don't. I mean, a few of you guys know what I traded it for. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag about what it is yet. I'll do a reveal and I'll do a whole video about it. But it's badass. It's something that it's the car that I've always wanted. Like and I will say that it's another Volkswagen, and it is something that every Volkswagen owner would want. It's highly sought after in the Volkswagen world. I'll leave it at that. But I did not trade it for a thing, but I would have. Those things are badass. That was my dude. Speaking of things, yeah, Nate, definitely. 7-window bus. I wish it was a 21-window bus. I'm actually on the Samba and a couple of the VW forums. I have a post up. I'm looking for a particular bus that belonged to a friend of mine who passed away. I'm sentimental with my friends that pass away with their cars. That's Che Bella, same thing. But it's a 68 bus. It's convertible. Newerish VW? No, it's a mid-60s car. I am looking for a bus that belonged to a friend of mine. It's orange. It's convertible. It's been shortened. It has the same wheelbase as a Bug. If I find that car, if I find it, you guys will see that thing on my channel for sure. I've been looking for that thing for quite a long time, and I have a few friends that have some leads on it and might know where it's at. So, Carmen Ghia, I already have one. We have a 67. Sherry's got a green one. I already have a car gear, Carmen Ghia. Don't fear the Dougsters here. What up, Doug? No, it's not a Myers. No, it's a street car. It's definitely a street car. But like I said, I'll make a video on it when I go and pick it up. The car currently is in Florida. That is totally my style. The car is currently in Florida, in Orlando, and we are going to meet in El Paso and trade. We're actually trading. And it's a straight up trade, no cash involved, just car for car. Ooh, it's getting windy outside. Yeah, we're going to do something with Carmen pretty soon. We have all the brand new interior for it sitting back over here behind my in the back of my shop. We'll get Carmen in here one of these days and get the interior finished up. That car's a runner. It drives good. And then we need to, like someone bolted, they put Scat Pro Car seats in her Ghia and they moved them. They didn't want to, they did it kind of right, but kind of wrong. The seats are off-centered of the steering wheel. And they did it that way because when you're putting Scat Pro Car seats in, yeah, that bitching. They bolted those seats in because they didn't want to affect the factory sliders. And I get why they moved them over so they didn't ruin the sliders. If any of you guys are Volkswagen guys and know where I can find a set of 67 Carmen Ghia stock low back seats, let your boy know. Carmen Ghia seats, the 67s are 1 year only. That particular seat came in a 67 and that's it. They are going to be very, very hard to find. Yeah, please. I'll take those Scat Pro Car seats out in a heartbeat and put stock low backs in it. That's actually why Sherry doesn't like driving the car, because you're off the side. She'd be driving it. Well, it's too friggin' right now, but once winter comes around, car season comes around, she loves to drive it. So, you drive Twisted. Yep. It's such a rad ride. Put Kirkies in it. Lyman Auto in Greenville has a bunch of Ghias. Cool. In her Ghia is just a stock. It's like a 1500. We haven't done anything with the motor yet. Eventually, I'll probably build a 1776, something just to pep it up a little bit. But it's just a really good driver. That car runs so good. It shifts well. And no, I don't use the electric steering pumps. I use a whole unit. 1776 is a Sound and Freedom. Yeah. So that's a 69 millimeter stroke with a 90.5 millimeter piston. So you still get a really good thick cylinder wall for cooling. And then you can put a set of dual 40s or 44s on it. And it'll rip. They run pretty good. Yeah, I don't use the electric pump. The system I use uses no fluid. Yeah, that's one of those deals that from being out in Glamis, man, that deal for that Carmen Ghia just fell into my lap and I couldn't pass it up. Thick wall 92s, the same price as 90.5s. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Formula V. Oh, yeah. I remember those guys. So the car that I'm trading for, it runs right now. It is a cruiser, but I'll probably be building a 2-liter or something for that eventually as well. It's got somewhat of a stock motor in it right now. But God, I want to tell you guys so bad, but I want to wait because it's going to be a great video. Lyman Auto. Let me screenshot that. Lyman Auto in Greenville. Dude, my daughter, you got her fucking hooked, bro. She wants a Honda now so bad. Every time we're talking to people, she's like, yep, Brent said he's got a car for me. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, oh, my God, I can't build another car right now. Famous, what up? Oh, she must be in there watching with Sherry. Oh, dude, it's beyond time. Yeah, she's sat by all these years and watched me drag race and go off and do this stuff. It's in her blood. She wants to do it. So she's just kind of a late bloomer when it comes to stuff like that. She's got it in her blood. You know, her mom road raced motorcycles her whole life. I drag race. You know, so she wants to do it and she wants to race. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. She's actually been on me for quite a couple of years now to find her a car. And I might have something in the works for that as well. So we'll see how everything pans out once this is done and that's gone. And I actually don't have a lot going on. We have the Ghia to do a few things too. I have to finish this. A couple days on that, and I think it'll be finished. And then that car, the Bug will be gone. Another car will be in its place. And my Chevelle runs and drives. I don't need to really do anything to that. Air conditioning. I got to finish the air conditioning in my Chevelle, but it runs and drives. So I don't really have anything else really I need to work on. I'm going to be pulling the transmission out of my Honda. It's out there in the enclosed, and sending it off to have my transmission guy go through it again, do what we need to do to that, and then put it back in, change the oil, and it's ready to go. So this is what I'm really stoked about. Is over the last, I guess, 2 years that I've been racing the PFI events, this is the first time that I've brought my car home not broken or not really needing anything. I could get in it right now and go race it. So I'm totally stoked on that. So it just needs an oil change, and I'm changing the third and fourth on it because I need to, but I could go drag race it right now. So that's not having to spend money on that car, to get it ready for an event is key. Oh, let's see here. 38 days. Yep, we'll be ready to go. I can't wait. I cannot wait. We got all the ancient 90s parts out of it. Almost. It's coming. When they're not, yeah, Mario, just when they're not broke, upgrade everything. Yeah, definitely. So there is some big upgrades coming for that car. But I don't think I want to make any changes to it until after the SpeedFest stuff is over. The car runs good. It did well, and it's going to do even better. So I don't think I want to change anything until after SpeedFest is done. Then I'll do the turbo stuff and all that. So back to what I was saying about how basic my motor is. I run a Skunk 2 Ultra Street and a Skunk 2 throttle body. I have a KLM intercooler, and I have a $600 turbo. It's a 3584, a Pulsar. It's my setup is really, really basic. So after SpeedFest events are done, I'll be upgrading the turbo, and I'm using a mid 2000s Rev Hard top mount manifold that Miles built. That I'm not going to change. I think I'm going to leave that right where it is. Doug, let's see. When I was in high school, some guys had a 350 Chevy in the backseat of a Bug. Utilizing a Bug transaxle flipped over. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, they flipped it around, flipped it upside down. I had a two-seat sandrail. Why did I keep 930s with my sequential? Because I want something to break, and I don't want it. You love working on a top mount. Yeah, I know. But I got a tubular core support now, so it makes it easier. I stayed with 930s in my car because I want a weak link, and I'll tell you why that is. I work on these things at Glamis Fab all the time, and a new axle is $700 per side. That's just what they cost. When you're out there in Glamis, I don't want to break an axle. I'd rather break a CV because I got tons of spare 930 stuff. So that's why I did it. I see guys with 934s cars, they don't break CVs anymore. They break axles, or when they break a CV, it takes the axle with it. And I would rather just break a Star or a Super Cage or something. So that's why I did it. With those new paddles I got on the back of that thing, We'll see how long that's actually going to last. If I start breaking 930s like crazy, then, I'm definitely going to upgrade it to 934s. The other reason is the 934 midboard hubs for the back of my car were given to me. For a 934 Gear 1 midboard rear hub with the super greasers and all that stuff is $7,000 retail. I get a little bit of a break, and I just didn't have the dough. And Dave Unknown gave me those 930 midboard hubs for free. So that's the second reason. A lot of it's cost, And again, like I said, I work on these cars, so I see what breaks on them. And when these guys come in with broken axles, man, that $700 or $1,400 bill, and then a 934 CV. I just put 4 934s in Cletus's car, and that bill just for the 934s was $1,400, $1,500 for 4 CVs, somewhere in that range. So, and that's my cost on them. So again, I'd much rather break a 930 than a 934. I'd much rather, that. What kind of a budget does a broke fellow need to get into a sandrail? Dude, Mario, there's all kinds of different levels at this game, dude. Metro Cruiser Detroit, first gen Ford. Start parting out the Prelude. Yeah. Believe it or not, dude, there's all kinds of levels to this thing. You can get in at the ground level in an old beam car that you can just put around in, or you can get into something like my car. To buy my car new right now is probably $250,000 to $300,000 to buy it brand new from San Lamo. I've owned this car for 11 years. I paid $6,000 for it 11 years ago. It had a ton of problems with it. And then luckily I work for San Lamo. So we get to do all the upgrades on my car for basically next to nothing. So I'm very lucky in that aspect where I can get a $200,000 sand car for, low money. Plus I've had it for 11 years. And over those 11 years I've had it, I'll upgrade this or that, or I'll add, I added bypasses and these arms in the front. Like 2 years ago, I did some trade work with Joe and he built the arms for me. So I'm lucky in that aspect that I get to do stuff like that. So, like I said, there's all kinds of levels to the sport. You can get in at the ground level and then just start working your way up. I think the cheapest long travel car you could get into is something like a King sand car. Something with a street bike motor in it. They're long travel, they're fun, they're fast, and that's a damn pro mod. Yeah, it is. It's definitely a pro mod. What do I think of Sandworks sand cars out of Utah? I don't know. If I saw a picture of one, I've never seen one that's labeled as Sandworks. I'd have to see one. I don't know that brand off the top of my head. But yeah, for the money, you can get into a street bike powered car with like Kings on it, and it's a smaller car, probably they're 2-seaters, but you can get into one of those for, if you find a deal, you can get one for like 10 grand, 10 to 15 grand. The problem, Mario, is you come ride in a car like mine with a big motor and a sequential transmission, it will absolutely change your life. Friggin' funeral. I'll grab those gears. Yep. Sold one here in Washington not long ago. Friggin' Dooner. So yeah, that's kind of the best budget car I think to get into if you want to get into a sand car. And on top of that, those cars hold that same value, that same price range. So you could go out and use it for a season and then flip it and sell it if you need to get your money back out of it. I need that like a lawnmower. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you go for a ride in a car like mine, it'll change your life, dude. It's addicting. I don't just like the Rogue paddles. STU, they make a great tire. The thing that I don't like about your standard paddle tire is the weight of them. They're heavy. Exoskeleton of DSM. That'd be awesome. Your standard paddle tires are very heavy, so you're spinning a lot of rotational mass back there, and it's hard on parts. That's the only reason I would prefer this tire over a traditional paddle. It's dune addicting. Absolutely, dude. You get out there in the dunes and in the big dunes out there, and you'll start to realize how small you really are when you look up at the sky and realize that if this thing breaks, you're not getting out of there for days. It's pretty badass. So back to the tires. That's why I run them, because they're lightweight. And then nobody was really making. It's all about perspective. Just stay away from a lawn travel until you got the money. Yeah, that's true. Nobody was really making anything new and innovative in the sand tire world. And these guys came around. Well, they didn't just come around. So cat's out of the bag now. If you guys know who Extreme is, Extreme Sand Tires, that's them. It's Tim Kelly sold it to somebody that I know, and they started Rogue, and it's all the stuff from Extreme. And then the technology and everything, they all work together, and no one had come up with new paddle tire technology in the last 20 plus 30 years. It's all pretty much the same. So these guys got engineers behind them, and they really put some new technology into these tires. Like, people just think, oh, it's just they're a copy of a Scat Track or this, but nope, they are definitely not. They are their vulcanization process, when they vulcanize the paddle on, completely different. I could go. It's crazy because they don't like me talking about how they did it, or what goes into it. But I can tell you 100%, it's completely different. I mean, the buffs, right? They're just buffs, but their paddle technology, completely different, and it's pretty badass. So, and to get them to come in, jump on board with me, and stand behind me and give me whatever product I want for my car, how do I say no to that? I did the initial testing for them, along with like 3 or 4 other cars. And these guys, I've known them a very, very long time. They're part of my dune group, so I go duning with these guys. We're friends outside of, business with sand tires and stuff. So they're going to support me. I'm 100% going to support them. And it's a badass product, and it works. These tires, they allow you to float on top of the sand. So you can flip the car sideways. And then when you want it to hook, you just stab the throttle, and those paddles will just dig in the sand, and they'll rip the front tires right off the ground. Uniball versus Heims on the front spindles, 2-inch hollows. What's stronger? I would go with Uniballs. My front end's a Uniball front end. Every badass car that I've ever seen or driven has a Uniball front end. They handle better, they turn sharper, and they're stronger. So make sure the car has at least an 18 COM-T. That's the size 18 Uniball in the front. And it's fortified. It's got the Teflon in it. Those are the best Uniballs on the market. We use 18 COM-Ts on all our big 2-inch hollow setups. Straight up, cars will turn sharper. They handle better. And then throughout, depending on how they made the front arm, throughout the suspension travel, the toe doesn't change much. So if you got 1 degree of toe at straight, when the car's fully compressed, it's going to stay there. The camber's going to stay there too, because the Uniball moves. Where the Heim joints, they bind. So definitely Uniball. That's my opinion there. Stronger and better. Your passengers will thank you. Yes, they will. Oh, that's the other thing. Thanks for mentioning that. The reason I like to run a buff front tire is because it turns just as sharp and just as hard as one with a Mohawk, and it doesn't throw sand all over your passengers. Your bump steers better. Yes, sir. What up? Do you feel UTVs and side-by-side have ruined off-road? For example, ruining trails, wrong type of people now off-roading. That's a great question. See, I'm glad people are asking me the hard stuff, man. Okay, that's kind of a loaded question, but I'm going to try to answer it the best I can. I have my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion. I am happy and sad that side-by-sides got to where they are. The reason I am happy is because a big corporation finally stepped up, Polaris, and they purchased an interest in Glamis. They own property in Glamis. So we now have a multi-billion-dollar corporation backing us out there, trying to keep the place open and fighting all the lawsuits about, trying to close areas down and off-roading this and that. I think a lot of people have a lot of opinions, and what I will just say is there's a lot of Modelo that gets drinking out in Glamis, and I am all for it. I think everybody has a right to go off-roading and do what they want. There's a lot of sign-in drivers out there. It is what it is, right? I don't necessarily think they've ruined off-roading. I think they put a lot of eyes on what we do. I used to be able to go to Glamis and not see a Ranger all weekend on a holiday weekend. And now you can't go 5 feet without someone being pulled over. You might hurt a butterfly. Yeah, exactly. Not Modelo's. There's just, and people leave their trash. That just is, it's just part of the deal, man. That's just what happens out there. I'm not saying it's right. I hate it. I'm involved in all the cleanups that I can out there. We try to get involved. We sponsor everything we can at Glamis Fab to try to help out. There used to be some really cool off-road spots that we used to go to. I had a Samurai that was like full off-road setup. I had a twin stick transfer case in it with drive shaft discs and all kinds of cool stuff. And we used to go wheeling out in this place in California, mining areas that people hadn't been to in totally like undiscovered land. And started coming around. It made it easier for more people to get back there. And what I will say about that area now, from what I've heard, it's completely destroyed. There's graffiti everywhere. There's trash everywhere. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Like I said, everybody has a right to go off-roading. Everybody has a right to go buy a car and go. It's just what they do once they get out there that I don't necessarily agree with. So I want everyone to come out and have a good time. I don't care who you are, what your budget is. I think it's an awesome time. It's fun. It's a good, wholesome fun. And if you keep it that, it is what it is. But, when you get big crowds and, elements, I think Polaris will eventually produce a production sand car. It seems like they are evolving that way. Leave it better than you found it. That's right. I think Polaris is yes. Sign and drive, yeah. I think Polaris is already pushing that way. They're leaning hard more towards the sand community. I would like to see them build a purpose-built sand car. I think it would be cool. I think they need to get rid of the CVT and do something different, maybe like what Honda did, where you shift it, but or Yamaha did it as well. That CVT system is just the belts, man. They took that belt technology from their snow machines, right? Because it's basically the same thing. It's centrifugal clutches and a belt, but a belt lasts for 20 years on a snow machine because it never gets hot. In a side-by-side, well, that's the first thing that's going to get hot is that belt, and it's going to break. So, I've said this before in the lives, if somebody could come up with a clutch system that got rid of that belt, like maybe a chain, I know a chain would be loud, but if somebody could get rid of that belt, you'd be a billionaire. That's B with a billionaire with a B. If somebody could come up with something reliable that would not break, you would be a gazillionaire billionaire. What else, guys? What else? What else we got? Policing is good. Becomes a revenue source for the state is not cool. Correct. And from what I've talked to a lot of the law enforcement there. They come by the shop and talk to us. We know Neil Yamada from them, and those police officers that they bring out to Glamis on the holiday weekends, most of them don't work out there. They bring them in from out of state, and they are taught to over enforce. If you have a tail light out in your car, they're going to threaten to impound it and take you to jail. You know, they're like, get this thing off the road. I had a friend that was pulled over in his off-road truck, and it had a tail light out, and they pulled him out of the car at gunpoint. He was driving down Sand Highway, ripping, and you guys see all the lights out there. Everything's flashing. You wouldn't know if it was a cop behind you or not, whether it was a razor or something. You would never know. So he was just ripping down Sand Highway, and there happened to be a cop behind him trying to pull him over. And he didn't know. So they eventually stopped him. They pinned him in and pulled him out of his car at gunpoint in front of his kids. At the time were, I think, 12 and 14 years old, and they're crying. My dad's going to go to jail. The police are going to shoot him. Like, they are taught, and it was all over a friggin' taillight, dude. A taillight or a license plate light or something, or a cracked windshield. It was something really, really stupid. And so I think that's bullshit. I don't think that they should be over enforcing out there. And I think if they were a little bit more mellow when they did pull people over, things would go a lot further out there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of assholes out there, you know, that just is what it is. But I think if they mellowed out a little bit on people and were nice, a little nicer, it'd go a long way. ATVs took a sport that used to require skill and knowledge to do and made it require none. Yeah, I guess. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was a lot of sign and drive buggy drivers back in the day in the 80s and 90s as well. It just wasn't as accessible as it is now, right? Like, yep, definitely spelled Chick-fil-A. I think I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's weird. I'm torn. Yeah, most of the OGs were building their own rigs back in the days, but there was a lot of guys that were. Now listen, we can talk about the sign-in drivers now, but we can also talk about prior to 2006 that Samco Buggies, you should know this, how many sandcar manufacturers were out there prior to 2006 before the housing crash? I believe there was 60 or 70 licensed sandcar manufacturers prior to the crash. And a lot of those guys that were pulling money out on their mortgages were sign-in drivers. They were buying big, high-end LS-powered cars. And, you know, when the housing market crashed, you know, that's when the buggy market crashed. I went through it. You know, so it's kind of the same thing. The reason you don't see an influx in buggy guys out there is because it's extremely hard to get financing on a car like this. Where at Polaris, you can just go to the dealer and they do in-house financing. So that's the difference. I think the sport is still elevated. It would still be elevated to where it is now. Even if the side-by-sides weren't there, I think you would see, if these things were easier to finance, you'd see guys in these. You know, so it's kind of a catch-22. I think the sport has taken off, you know, and it's from guys like me that take their friends out, and they go out for a weekend and are like, oh, man, I want to do this. Oh, well, it's easy to do. You just go down here, sign your life away, and off you go, and you got yourself a car. No financing is rarely a damn. You just said it. Yep. Yeah, there's hardly any financing for these. There's a few private finance companies that will get involved with these, but the interest rates are high, and it's not So that's why you don't see a whole lot of new sand cars out there now. You get guys like me that are taking this car that was built in 2000 or 2001. This car is over 20 years old, and just refabbing it because it's how can you afford? Who can afford $150,000 sand car? You know, and then even if you could, what's the payment on that? At I don't even know if the interest rate's like 6% today, 6.7%, almost 7%. It's like another house payment. The Sandrail Turbo program. If the transaxles weren't so expensive, I would rent my car out for sure. Unfortunately, one misshift into second gear and you shear all the teeth off. That's a $10,000 bill right there, easy. Clee. Nah, listen. Got to run and see it later, dude. Cleat, that guy's a driver, man. I will say that about him. He's maybe one or two. We're probably doing one or two new rails a year. We do a lot of refab. We have a 2-seat car that we just cut the whole roof off of, redid the rear end. Might as well have just built a whole brand new car, but it's pretty badass. But yeah, new cars, maybe one or two a year, if that. Mine will be the actual newest pure sand limo out there. And I didn't do the Buggy hood. I cut my shock mount. So let me throw it on. You guys can check it out. Hang on. That's the hood I did, non what I call the Buggy hood. So it'll be painted, but I think it looks a lot better and a lot sleeker than the old San Limo deal with the big headlights here in the front. So my dash and my center console is still, yeah, it does. It looks mean. I can't wait to get that stuff painted. My dash and center console are over at the fiberglass shop right now. I got to go pick them up and then make a few modifications to them and cut them in, and then I can drop it all back over there for a gel coat and paint. And without Samco, without doing new cars, Joe works 6 days a week. Wedo, that helps us at the shop in Glamis, is full-time at San Limo with him. He's busy, and I mean busy. There are cars stacked up over there. Transmission services, full breakdown and repair. Nice board shorts. Yeah. All those Modelos, the reason I paid a lot for insurance. Yeah, there's that. My insurance on my buggy it's pretty expensive. Joe's still building it up a car. Yeah, it's done. His car's done. We have that car, just needs to go on the dyno, and the guy who built the motor needs to come tune the carburetor for it when it's on the dyno. But that thing's done. It's just sitting on his list at the house. We're all going to go out when my car's done. Dave, myself, and a few other guys are going to go out and shake our car. So I'll film all that when we go out there. That'll be a little epic little adventure. Try to get Joe out in the dunes when the shop's closed. That way he can actually go out and enjoy his car. And then he can get his ass whooped by me in this and Dave, because he says that beam car is going to kill us. I beg to differ. But he's a hell of a driver. So back to NASDAQ, Cleat. He, let me tell you a story about that guy, okay? First time I met him, came to Glamis, and he was in a side-by-side. And, oh, yeah, you can get that Modelo's in, no problem, bro. He was in a side-by-side. He was in his oh, what the hell is that thing? Not a Polaris, Can-Am. And the first place that those guys went is to the swing set. And that was 5 years ago. And that dude had not been there 10 minutes, and he hit the swing set jump matted to the floor. There's a video of it out there. That dude has a set of balls bigger than – I don't even hit the swing set jump, and I've been going to Glamis my whole life. I've seen too many people airlifted out of that fucking place with broken backs and fucked up cars. He fucking sent it, dude. Cleared the fucking double and landed that thing like a pro. So that day, he instantly earned my respect as driver in the dunes. There's nothing that guy can't drive well. And, dude, he's – as much as people want to say he's a sign-in driver, dude, take a look, man. He bought a long travel sand car, and within 5 minutes was standing it straight up, like all of us do. So, I mean, yeah, he's definitely a wheelman. Definitely. Back in the day, we would meet up for some street racing. High school kids would show up with mommies and daddies, Trans Am, and 5.0 Mustangs. It's stupid and draw on the comp. Cerritos, Compton. Yeah. Carl, I was out in Compton a lot. I was at Commerce Street, 135th and Main. Spent a lot of late nights out in Compton. A lot. So this car is currently at Cord's Performance. I actually have to go over there tomorrow and drop off his new clutch. It just came in. And they are putting a new motor in his car. And then it's going to come back to me. They're doing all the wiring for the Holly and all the stuff in it. And then I'm putting switch pros in it and rewiring the chassis. And doing a couple more things to it that he doesn't want to talk about. So we'll wait for videos on that. But, the car's going to be sick. And then I think after this season, I'm just going to tear his car apart. I'm just going to strip the whole car down and just go through it front to back. It needs it. The car's old, needs to be gone through. He'll get a season out of it this year with the new motor, and then it's going to need to be gone through front to back. There's some cracks in the chassis in certain spots that need to be addressed. So, that thing will come back better than ever. I actually want to try to see if he'll let me cut the roof off of it. I want to radius it and give him some more headroom since he's like 70 feet tall. Run a dual disc, Raymond, twin disc. Oh, my favorite off-road driver of all time. Oh, man. I'm going to think about that one for a minute. Remote control buttons. Somebody just texted me. Yeah, Raymond, definitely a twin disc. The massive jump on that Ford truck thing. No, I'll have to watch it. Send me a link on it. I'll check it out. That's empty. Oh, my favorite off-road driver. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Maybe Carl Renezenter. Just because he did so much. He did trophy truck stuff. He did short course stuff. Maybe him and probably Deegan. Brian Deegan is fucking insane in a Pro 2 and Pro 4 truck, dude. He's a bad man. That guy can drive. I used to follow that Lucas short course stuff. Any rain by my house? It's windy and we've been getting storm warnings, but I don't know. I love your channel. Thanks for putting in the time. Oh, appreciate that, dude. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Landing on a big jump. I don't even know if I can. Is there a protocol landing on a big jump? Do you get off the throttle or do you just let the vehicle do the thing? Well, it just kind of depends on how far you're jumping. And when I jump this car, I get off the throttle when it lands. Because what ends up happening is when a car comes off, and this is why side-by-sides break axles so much. Car comes off the ground, you've got your foot matted to the throttle, the motor goes bum, 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 and those paddle tires are spinning as fast as they can. And when you land in the sand, they go whack and break the axles. Dan Vance, yeah. I would have said Dan, but I don't think a lot of these guys know who Dan is. I think they were talking about famous people. But yeah, Dan is definitely my favorite off-road driver. That guy's the man. Really good friend of mine that drove off-road for many, many years. Unfortunately, got MS really bad when he was young, a few years younger, and had to give up off-road racing. But still loves it. He's still doing some short course stuff with his son now. I'm actually going to see him next Sunday. He's racing at Glen Helen. I think I'm going to run out there and go see him. Yes. Yeah, definitely. Dan's the first driver that I ever rode in like an off-road truck in Glamis, and we jumped that thing like 135 feet long and like 12, 15 feet in the air. And I was never uncomfortable once in that truck. He had a badass Ford Ranger back in the day. Built by AJ from the Baja shop. Oh, that's cool. You know Dan. That's awesome. I actually was just on the phone with him. Oh, Mario sent me the reel. Let me check this out real quick. Mario, that's not real, dog. That's a remote control car. That's fake. That's a remote control car. Dan was actually our roommate for a while. Dave, remember when we lived at the Bracell house? Dan used to live with us. Oh, Jared's back. Thanks for coming back, brother. Yeah, Mario, that's not a real truck. That's a remote control truck. The party videos in Glamis. Yeah, I'm in Quicksand 2000, dude, in Dan's truck. So, yeah. Pismo jumping the Ranger. Yeah, that was awesome. Yep. All the tough truck challenge. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, that was back when he had the Ranger, and then after that he got his Toyota and started doing it. Yeah, Dan's a really good friend. I actually just talked to him 2 days ago. Still keep in touch. He wants to start coming back to Glamis, but unfortunately, Dan likes to go on the holiday weekends, and those are the weekends that I'm working, so I can't really hang out with him while I'm working. He likes the big crowds and jumping at Oles and all that stuff, and he's really into that. I used to like the big crowd stuff, and then the last time, God, when was that? So I think it was when Cletus and the boys came out for Camp Razor one year, and crazy, I'm in that video too. In Quicksand 2000, are you really? No way. Now I got to dig it out and watch it if you're in it. See, I told you, Brent, we've crossed paths, dude. What was I saying? What up, Carl? Yep. Yeah, it's looking good, dude. It's coming along. Um, nice. Watch Quicksand 2000. Look for Dan's truck. We were at Oles and we were jumping against Buckshot. Andrew from Buckshot. We were having a jump contest at Oles. We beat him. You'll see it. He jumps and you'll see the X5 underneath his car, and then you see the Ranger go like 10 times farther than him. I'm going to watch it tonight for sure. It's on YouTube. Yeah, those were my favorite videos. Oh, yes. No, not that Thanksgiving weekend. It was the weekend that Cletus and everybody came out on Camp Razor. This was recently, a couple years ago. Like I said, I used to like the crowds, and we were supposed to meet them at their camp. We hopped in my limo, my wife and I. We rolled to their camp, but they were already gone. So we just jammed out to Oles to meet them out there. So I went to the top of Oles. There was so many people there. I had literally parked. I didn't shut my car off for 30 seconds. Someone almost hit me, and then I watched two side-by-sides hit each other 5 feet in front of my car. I'm like, I started my car up, I turned around and got the fuck out of there and went back. I didn't care who was out there or who I was supposed to meet. I was not going to fucking let someone hit my car that night. No fucking way. So I was literally there 5 minutes. So now, if I'm ever out there, I stay at the bottom of Oles, on the holiday weekends. Dan is crazy. Yeah. The Thanksgiving that Sherry was talking about right up in the chat here somewhere where we almost died. I'll tell you this story. It's pretty crazy. So we had just gotten this car. We were in this car, weren't we, babe? I think so. We had maybe had it a year, two. And our Dune group, they like to go on holiday weekends. That's when everybody went. So we're out there on Thanksgiving, and there was probably 5 or 6 rows deep. And we were right in the front hanging out. And then it was time to leave. So everybody in my group kind of got split up. And a bunch of them went up Oles. And I got caught checking the Quicksand 2000 out right now on YouTube. And it's like Sturgis in the sand. Yeah, definitely. So at that particular year, years ago, some guys had groomed the right side of the hill, and they had Banshees racing up and down the hill. So I went to go right to go up the hill, and the guys with the Banshees stopped me, and they're like, "You can't go up this hill. We just groomed it." I'm like, "I don't give a shit. This ain't like a sanctioned event or anything. I'm getting the fuck out of here." So the guy's like, "Well, this is our return lane. Go up our return lane." So, yes, I'm in Quicksand 2000. So as soon as I start going up the hill, this dude in this big, long travel, big block car comes ripping up next to me, and he's racing me up the hill. And my car wasn't fast. I just went up the hill. So I got to the top of the hill, and I went to the right, and then went all the right, and then took Sand Highway and just got out of there. Well, it turns out that guy, when he got to the top of the hill, turned around, went down Oles, and the throttle stuck on his car. I don't know what the timestamp is. I'd have to look at it. I haven't watched it in years. He went down the hill. His throttle got stuck. He jumped off the end of Oles and landed on the back of his car like this up against another car. And he ended up killing somebody that night. It was crazy. We were literally parked right where he crashed. Insane. So from that point forward, we were driving back, and then we heard all the sirens and ambulances and the helicopter and all kinds of shit going on. And then we got back to camp, and someone had their iPad out, and they started pulling up pictures of the car. And it was the car that went up the hill right next to me. It was insane. Gives me the chills just thinking about it. So that's somebody that I think was very inexperienced in a car that they couldn't control. Did I have long hair back then? Yes, I did. Long as in not long, but just look for Dan's truck. I'm in the passenger seat. And then there's a couple scenes where I'm standing right at the bottom of Oles as he jumps, as he goes by me. Like I said, I'd have to watch the video. I haven't watched it in years. Yeah, I must have a good guardian angel. That's right. Something told me that it was time to leave, and we left, and it was crazy. How did I get my start in imports? That's a great question. So I've always been a Volkswagen guy. See it from my Volkswagens. And the reason I was a Volkswagen guy is I lived in Huntington Beach, and they were cheap. A couple of my friends had them. They were easy to work on, cheap to maintain, and they were relatively cheap to go fast. And I guess it was around 88, 89. I was going to the street races a lot in my Bug, and I was in a car club called Visual Perfection in Southern California, out of Huntington Beach. And a guy in my club, or in another club, he had a 4-door Civic. It was a 90 or a 91 SI, or actually it was an EX then. JX, thanks for the great content. I enjoyed the EG hatch stuff too. Reminds me of my 95. Nice. He had a 91 EX hatchback with a single cam in it. And it had a sunroof. It had air conditioning. And he was like, hey, man, you should let me take you for a ride in my car. It's pretty fast. And I was like, oh, yeah, whatever, Honda. Nah. So I guess it was in 90 or 91. So 88 to 91, somewhere in that year span anyway. So I get in the car with him, and we take off and go ripping. And I was like, and it was pretty much stock. It had like a bullfrog intake on it and a header and I think a ported throttle body or something. And for the time, it was pretty freaking quick. And I was like, dude, this thing's pretty badass. You know, you can fit some friends in the car. It has power windows. It has air conditioning. It has a heater. My Volkswagen did not have heater boxes in it because I ran engine 5/8 headers. So I used to freeze my ass off all the time. And I was like, dude, this thing's pretty freaking cool. Like, I bet you we could get someone to make a cam. We could port the head. So like we started getting into doing all that stuff. I had a friend who knew of the guy who owned Good Performance, Bill Good, Bullfrog, and he was already making a cam for that car. So we got a cam, we got an adjustable cam gear, like that was made out of a stock cam gear, put it on his car. I think one of my friends had a Dremel, and we just ported the head ourselves. Like, it was crazy. And we were messing with advancing the timing and you know, and we got that car to go pretty fast. So that's kind of what got my start into imports. My wife, Sherry, in there had a S10. She had a mini truck, and she traded it for an 86 CRX that used to belong to Oscar Jackson. It was his personal car. It had all the Jackson Racing suspension stuff on it. The motor was pretty much stock, but that car handled so good, and it was quick. And that's just took off from there. We had that CRX, and then I ended up with an 86 CRX SI. She ended up with a 90 SI hatchback. Like, I've had, and that's how it all started for me. It just took off from there. And we just started realizing that, hey, these cars are cool. And now look, I got a Monster Civic now. Yeah. These cars are really cool, and we can make them fast. And I can fit a few friends in with me. I have some amenities. Like, my buddy's 4-door EX had a freaking sunroof. My wife, our CRX SI had a sunroof. Excuse me. It had a heater, you know, so it just spiraled out of control from there. I've been into them ever since. I don't like to think about how long ago that was, but it's kind of cool. It's the way I look at that stuff too is like, we were part of, and Brent, I don't know if Brent's still on here, but Brent was part of this as well. A lot of us OGs that were in it, Tom, we're part of a genre of something new, like import drag racing and making Hondas fast was something completely new. And we've been a part of that from the time that it started. There's people that will live an entire lifetime that were never part of a certain genre of something that started when they were around. And I equate that to the Beach Boys, because Brian Wilson just died a couple weeks ago. And Brian Wilson was an innovator in music. Like, he created that surf style of music, him and the Beach Boys did. And a lot of us that have lived through that in lifetimes to come, our kids will never experience someone who created a new genre of music in their lifetime. Like, there's always going to be rock, there'll be surf, there'll be this, that, but it's really hard now to create a new genre of music or a new genre of, import drag racing or something. So I kind of equate the two. People that you meet throughout the import scene who were such large influences on the generations of today. Yep, absolutely. Brent's still here. So yeah, it's kind of weird. That's kind of how I equate it to. It's like I was part of something that from its inception started from the bottom, and now we're here. Yeah, what's crazy though is like, I watch Brent's kids who are totally involved in this sport, and they're taking it to a whole nother. Steven is taking his car and stuff. I talk with Shane all the time. Where will we be in 10 and 20? Yeah, exactly. Steven's taking that suspension stuff and the things that he's doing to a whole nother level of things that I never thought of, which is insane. It's awesome to see Brent's kids doing this. I love it. But yeah, it's crazy to think that, our kids are into it, but what will be new for them that will be invented when they're alive and progress, whether it be a new genre of music, a new style, like, how many genres of music are there now? And is there really going to be a new, you know what I mean? It's kind of weird. What up, dude? What up? That's my cue. I'm out in the shop. Yeah, it's crazy to see where the technologies come. Like, I had a customer of mine, still has his EK. He's driving it now, but it had to have been 10 or at least 15 years ago when I had my shop. He asked me to all-wheel drive his car, and I told him it was impossible. I said, there's no freaking way. Well, DJ next. Will I do a car meet or something local? It's funny that you should mention that. So one of my customers, the innovation is insane. Yes, it is. One of my customers owns Farmer Boys, and not just one Farmer Boys. It's that car that I did the fuel tech on, that sand car. He owns all of the Farmer Boys restaurants. He owns the entire franchise. Like, that's his business. He has asked me to host a cruise night at the Farmer Boys in Glendale. I think it's in Glendale. So there is going to be some information on that coming up. I know because it's summertime, I don't know how well it's going to do, but I'm definitely going to be doing something with them and hosting something like the Dune Addicts first annual cruise night. Bring your sand rail, bring your streetcar, bring whatever you want out. Come hang out. I'll do a meet and greet. I'll have merch out there. So that's funny you mentioned that. That's pretty cool. Are we getting any rain in Mesa? Hold on a second. Let me look. Not yet. Not yet, but I'm sure it's coming. It is cooling off quite a bit outside. So yeah, definitely. I'll do something on my social media. I'll post about it. They were talking about maybe doing it in July now. It's going to be super, super hot. But if we do something in the evening, I was supposed to do it last month, and they had some issues get it with the landlord that owns the building and getting the permits pulled and stuff to do it. But that'll be my first annual, and we'll make it a regular thing. They're working with me. They're going to be basically one of my, like, a channel sponsor, which is really cool. And I asked to not get paid. They're going to pay me in food cards. So I get Farmer Boys wherever I go. So, it's in Gilbert. Yeah. Your bug was throwing down at the PFI event. That was not my bug. That was my hatchback. No, Jared. I'm coming. LOL. How big of a rear tire can you run with a 2D LS? As big as your clutch and your right foot will allow. I ran a 1450-15, and then I went to a Rogue 35-15 rear. The reason I got away with running a bigger tire with a Rogue is because it's less rotating mass, it's lighter. But 1450-15 is about where you want to go with a 2D and an LS. Love the lives. Cool. I'm glad you like them. Junior Civic, that car. Yes, thank you. They just opened a Farmer Boys in Gilbert. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one where it's going to be. Crazy wins. Yep. If you can talk to the owners of the Martin Auto Museum and set up a meet there. Well, we'll see how the Farmer Boys one goes. I think if it goes well, then maybe I'll venture out and do some stuff. But I think they were wanting me to do something exclusive with them and keep it at Farmer Boys. And thank you, babe. They didn't see you. Is it raining yet? No. Lightning show. Yeah, there's a bunch of lightning, but no rain.
And all the motorcycles just were riding.
Yeah. So I think they want me to keep it like within the, doing stuff for them at Farmer Boys, which I think will be cool. It was the hatch. Sorry. It's been a busy day. Yeah. Oh, Jared. Jared said hi, babe. Yeah, I'm totally stoked, dude. Like I keep this thing next to me all the time. I am super, super proud of this. Brent, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like when these things were being made at the shop, because I'm usually at the shop before every event, I'm always staring at these things. And you can ask my wife, man. I told her, dude, I don't care what I got to do. I'm getting one of those effing trophies. That was my goal. And I guess last race was my time. So cool. Kind of like pavilions when it was a thing. Or sold the show to some investment firm. Yeah, definitely. I don't think something that I do will ever get as big as pavilions. But hey, you never know. Never know. I went to pavilions a couple times. It was pretty rad. Yeah, I love this channel. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. That's awesome. Pavilions is rad because the first time I went to pavilion, I actually got chased out of pavilions by the cops the last time I went. But the first time I went to pavilions, I took my Chevelle. Mission accomplished. And that was cool. My Chevelle got a ton of attention. And then I took my Honda a couple of weeks later, and that got a ton of attention too. And it got some unwanted attention when I put it on the two-step. And there was a huge crowd around my car, and everybody was filming it. And then the cops came over, and they were not very happy about it. But no, yeah. But pavilions is cool. Do you know if pavilions goes on during the summer? Or do people just show up out there? I am joining to see your bug pull some wheelies. Unfortunately, B-Dog, my bug technically does not belong to me anymore. It is going to a new owner. Reyes, did I ever went street racing by Deer Valley Airport? Yes. I had a green EG hatchback, and the license plate said 6-speed EG. I raced at Deer Valley a lot, and undefeated at Deer Valley. Street Sweepers of Mesa, Sunday through Wednesday. Oh, right on, right on. Yeah, they kill it on those trophies, dude. I'm so stoked. You want one too? Backlight the PFI plaque. I'm going to do something. How big of a front tire do you want using the CarTech electric steering? Okay, so the CarTech electric steering is only 440 watts. I would not run an excessively large tire. The unit that I sell is 660 watts, and you can run the biggest tire you want on it. My favorite memory from Deer Valley. So I had a big problem with my car out there. I would leave on people so hard. By the time I get in third gear, I would just let off, and then people would catch me, and they're like, "Oh, I was catching you." I'm like, "Dude, you only caught me because I let off." Like, I was trying not to give away how fast my car really was. I was the only person in Southern California with a K-swap in my car at the time. I was the first K-swap car in SoCal. I think I was the first one that was actually running correctly on the entire West Coast. I had several customers fly me out to their places to wire their cars because no one could figure out how to wire them at the time. I had a K-swap in my car before there was adapter harnesses, before Hasport made motor mounts. Like, I was the first car. So I had a K20R in my car, and it had just a stock Type R ECU in it, and I had an 80 shot of nitrous on it. So I laid it down to some LSV Tech nitrous car at that airport very, very bad. Like, I beat him by like 30 fucking cars. A white turbo bug doing wheelies at Deer Valley. Yeah, I remember that car. Oh, that's good. What else? Give me some more questions, guys. Been an hour 32. We'll probably go 2 hours. It's still early. I think, yeah, it's only 8. It's only 9. We'll go another 30 minutes. Oh, all you buggy guys that are on here right now, I have a friend that's in St. Anthony's right now that needs a starter for an S4. Anybody know where we can get one at St. Anthony's? I don't think there's a buggy shop anywhere out there. If there is, please point me in the right direction. I do not weld cages in. I would have Brandon, our TIG welder, do it because that's what he does. Again, I can TIG weld. I can stick pieces of metal together. But if you want a cage done, send me a PM. We can definitely do it here. And Brandon will be more than happy to come over here and TIG it in. I like to stay in what I call staying in my lane. I specialize in wiring, basic welding. If you need seat brackets and stuff like that, I can do all that. I'll MIG or TIG all that stuff in. But when it comes to a cage, it's just not my forte. Can I do it? Yes. But I'd rather have Brandon do it because that's exactly what he does every day, all day, is TIG weld. So he did my cage. So yeah, send me a PM. I'll get you a price. Old video of you and B-Dog floating around singing Madonna. Oh. Option for a Pro Street transaxle under $6,000. My car has a Rancho Pro Drag with a spool in it, and I think it was like $7,700. You need to see me run a bead, get the welder out. Really? It's back there. I'm making my Tigger right there. Love to see those dimes. Oh, let's see those dimes. I'm not much of a TIG welder, dude. Like I said, I can stick metal together, but Brandon is my go-to. He TIGged my entire chassis on this car. I even had him go through all over old MIG welding and redo it. My car's for Rocky Mountain Race Week next year. Cavalier, I'm converting to rear-wheel drive. Oh, sick. That'd be awesome. That'll come this season for sure, Raymond. I'm definitely going to do something with some subscribers and anybody else who wants to come out to Glamis once my car's done on an off weekend. I think the first off weekend that I'm going to have is probably the weekend after Camp Razor. The month of October is extremely busy. I will be out in Glamis, not working the weekend before Camp Razor. I'll be out there with some friends, just doing some stuff with Cleet and the boys, I believe. And hopefully Brent and the guys are going to come out as well. But to do my own thing, it'll probably be the weekend after Halloween. I have to check the calendar and see where we're at. But yeah, that'd be rad. I'd love to do that. What else, guys? What else? Is it CM or MS? I don't know what that means. Oh, yeah, just send me a PM on Facebook or on Instagram. Is it possible to get a J35A standalone harness and PCM? What's the best email to contact? Yes. Here, let me put it in here for you. Oh, that ain't my email. I done fucked that up. Hey, babe, put my email in the chat for him. Hang on, I got it. Sorry that the screen's moving. Still didn't work. Yes, I would definitely do that at Glamis Fab. I think that's it. Yeah, there it is. Here's my email. Speaking of Dan Vance, guys, he just texted me. That's a trip. I'll get back to the questions in a second. I'll have his... All right. Yes, we're definitely going to do a Q&A at Glamis Fab. It's just, man, it gets so hard when we close up. We'll have to do it on kind of an off weekend. Down Glamis on Old School Roundup. Yes, definitely I'll be out there. It's weird because Joe has a hunting schedule, and it's hard because when he goes hunting, I'm running the shop. So it seems like every time Old School Roundup comes up, he's gone, and I'm stuck at the shop. But I'll definitely try to get away. Yeah, that's fine. It's for a wire harness. Do we know yet if Camp Razor will be the weekend before Halloween weekend? No, it's the same as it was last year. It's the weekend of. I think they posted about it. 2025. Yes, it's November 1st and 2nd. November 1st and 2nd is Camp Razor. Yeah, I just actually shipped the harness today. Oh, cool. OG spray adhesive. What is that? What do you guys call that? Dino sauce. started a trend, man. Everybody does that shit now on their dynos. Works. Sit this way, you guys. See my car better. Pink stuff. All right, what else, guys? I got a few more minutes left. 23 in here. Not too bad. I'd rather be 2,300, but it is what it is. I should probably put out a little bit more notice when I'm going to do these lives, but I just happened to be in the shop and was cleaning a few things up and getting my rogues put on the rail, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of bored, dude. I'll just do a live tonight. God, that thing looks so sick with the hood on it. I can't wait to get that thing painted. It's the DM about cage. Okay, cool. Right on. Yeah, well, definitely. Definitely. Brandon's not allergic to welding, that's for sure. Where's the next rail update video? It's coming. It's been slow going. I was on vacation for a week in Mexico, and then I was prepping for SpeedFest. So I went and did that, and I've been home this week, just kind of running around, like trying to get caught up. I have a brand new Ford Transit van that my job, it's got a boom on it. And it's got 2,000 miles on it. And Saturday, the air conditioning went out on it. The fucking hottest day of the year. It was 115 out. And okay, cool. You're local. So I had to take it to the Ford dealer this week. I had to get an appointment. It's been hectic. So I will get an update video. I do have a bunch of footage of things going together on that car. So soon. What I've been doing lately, dude, I got to grab this. I got to show you guys. It's going to get a little shaky here, but check this out. You guys got to see these tires on here. It's so sick. Dude, look at that. The thing looks so gnarly with those tires. It makes the frickin' wing look small. Makes the motor look small. There's my LSX. Exhaust is done. I just put that on. Like, my exhaust has been done at the coder for over a month. I just couldn't have time to go get it. But those are the baddest Rogues. Baddest Rogue 15s ever made. Nobody has those yet. I'm the only one. So that's a whole lot of paddle for 930s. We'll see how it works out. But I did get my seats in. The roof's on. But it's all going to come back off because I got to put interior panels in it. And then all my panels and stuff are over here. They're still wrapped up, but I've got to do the interior stuff on it. So still kind of messing with that. But I was so stoked on how the car looked with those paddles on it, dude. It's gnarly. Car's coming out sick. I cannot wait for it to be done. I'm going to clear bra the, yes, most definitely. Yep. It's going to get a PPF in the front. Are we coming to Rocky Mountain Race Week? That's a tough one because it's the tracks just aren't there anymore. They lost 2 tracks. They lost Vandermeer, obviously, and then they lost Great Bend because of some issues or whatever with the concrete. I think it's still closed. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brent, but I'm pretty sure Great Bend's still closed. So it was hard for them to do race week with only 2 tracks or 3 tracks. I did see that Matt just announced that they're going to do a Rocky Mountain race weekend at Pueblo, which I thought was really cool. One of the race weeks we went on, we did 2 days at Pueblo. So we got there, stayed the night, did a drive or raced that day, stayed the night, did a drive one day or whatever. That was really, really cool. So I think they're going to do a Rocky Mountain race weekend. I would totally be down to do that because the cool thing now is with my enclosed trailer, if they do that Rocky Mountain weekend at Pueblo, I can just stay in my trailer at the track, which makes it so much more cost effective, you know, for me to do something like that. Yeah, we know Bandimere has a new location purchase. It's been in the works for a long time, but it's going to be a long time before that track gets built. Have I ever seen a sand car? No, I have not. Nope. As far as I know, I'm the first one. And I don't like to say things like that anymore because people argue with me in my videos and comments. You're not the first one. I saw this. So that is the biggest paddle tire that Rogue has made for a 15. I know that. That's their 2X scoop, what they call the 2X. They make two different scoops. Now, the first Rogue paddle tire that I tested for them had the #1 scoop on it. And they still make that paddle. They actually call that paddle tire the Harvey Special because so many people from my video went and bought paddles that year at the sand show. Everyone that showed up at the sand show were asking for the paddle tires that were on Harvey's car. So they call it the Harvey Special when you call them, if you want those old ones. They work really, really well. This is the scoop that got designed off of the R&D stuff that we did on my car and a few other cars. That's the 2X scoop. It's got a different curve to it, a different pitch. No, that's I think that's 18 paddles on there, or 16 or 18. No, yeah, 16, 18. I'll have to count them, but it's a lot. We're going to see how it works. And again, my car's 930. So, but if you guys have heard me talk about these things, they're very, very light. So you're taking a ton of rotational mass off the back end of that car. So it's not as hard on the drivetrain. So we will see how that all works out. Great Bend is approved to get rebuilt as far as I know. Yeah, you know, I was really excited for Great Bend. What a great town that is. If you guys have ever been to Great Bend, when we go there for race week, they shut down Main Street. They let us park our cars right on Main Street. They had a big, like a festival down there with food vendors and everything for the kickoff of Rocky Mountain Race Week. I thought that was the coolest shit I have. And I was born and raised in Southern California. I'm not a small town kind of guy. And I thought that was some of the coolest shit I had ever seen in my whole life. It was awesome. And then I guess they redid the concrete in the track and then it got all fucked up somehow. When am I going to finish the drywall? When I get the money. It's all about the budget at this point, bro. I actually just finished the Artec stuff up there in the very top, but if somebody wants to sponsor the drywall in my shop, I'm all for it. Let's see. Great Bend. So I guess the concrete got all effed up out there. And, you know, I don't know what happened from there. I guess there was some big issue with the concrete there. But I love that track. It was cool. They're closed, but it sounds like the things are moving forward at Great Bend. Well, that's good. Yeah, it was compromised. Yeah, that's what I thought. I had heard some stuff about it. So, like I said, it's hard for Matt to do Rocky Mountain Race Week when you lose 2 tracks, you know. And I understand Mega Week was awesome. So I had some friends, Matt from part of our PFI crew. He went and did it in his Corvette, and his son Blake and a couple other of our friends were out there, and Mario did it. Mario was out there in the Del Sol. But yeah, I heard it was an awesome event. I heard it was really, really hot, but it's a wonderful town. Yeah, yeah, you talked with Mario a lot. Yeah. You know, I had traveled a little bit, but not through all that small town stuff. And it was really, really cool. Got me hooked on that small town stuff. And help put it up. Yeah. I've got some landscaping going on this month in my back to finish up all this dirt work I did a year ago or 2 years ago. How much power? So it's a motor out of Ruby. It's a 420. It's a Texas Speed 427 with a brand new blower on it and Holly. It should make 700 ish. That's what his car should make. We don't want to make much more than that because it's only on an S4, not an S4D. And in order to put an S4D in his car, it's going to take some serious fabrication, like as in changing the fuel cell, because the housing is so much taller and the transmission is so much wider. It's got a really big ring and pinion in it. So we're going to leave it at about 700 horsepower, 725. Does the change in altitude affect the tuning in my Civic? Yes. When we tune it in Colorado, it runs really good. And then when I bring it down here to Arizona, it tries to make all of the boosts because the air is so much more dense here. You know, it's thin up there in Colorado, but the fuel tech is really good about managing a lot of that for me. And then when you have your tuner's cell phone number in your phone, and he can just remote in, but they've taught me a lot. I can turn the boost up and down in my car, and the fuel tech runs off the wideband, so it'll correct plus or minus 15% fuel wise. So it works really well. Yeah, that's a bummer that Great Bend was the concrete was compromised. They spent all that money to redo it, and then that was really unfortunate. That place is friggin' awesome. So, like I was saying, that was the first race week I went on was my first experience in a small town stuff really at all, and it was friggin' awesome. I'm hooked on it. Engine out of my Canyon for the Cavalier will have around 400 and 500 with a whole set, full bottom end. Cool, that's awesome. Awesome. So yeah, I was really looking at that Rocky Mountain race weekend. I thought that was really cool. I was going to actually talk to Brent maybe about getting the Freedom Civic together, maybe trying to do that with it. And then I'll bring my car up. I got to look at the dates, but the reason I like that one is because it's, you're at the same location. So you get to Pueblo, you go for a drive, you come back, you drag race, you go for a drive, and you come back and you race again. So, and it's just a weekend. It's a short one. So I think that would be really fun. I did enjoy the 2 days. A lot of people don't like Pueblo, and they don't like the town. I get it, right? But if I can bring my trailer and just stay in my trailer, then friggin' why not? It's basically a 2-day drag race event where you actually have to drive your car, which I think is friggin' awesome because I have my opinions about some of the cars I race against not being street cars. So my opinions are what they are. They're my opinions. But I can get in my car, and if my truck and trailer, or my truck would have broke down while we were in Nebraska, I could seriously, no shit, get in my Honda and drive it home. It's got a big radiator in it. It holds a lot of coolant. I have a 15-gallon fuel cell in it. It holds all the fuel I need, and the windows roll up and down. It would have been hot as shit, but that car's done it. It's done race week several times, so it is a street car, that's for sure. What's that say? The great for the GM Atlas 3500. Yeah, that's crazy. I seen that a lot of guys are starting to work. The LS stuff is what it is, right? It's played out. And a lot of guys are doing that GM 4200, that 6-cylinder now. And I guess there's a lot of technology and a lot of stuff coming out for those things. And those motors are cheap, man. You can get them. You can get one for $200 at a junkyard. They're so plentiful. So I'd really like to see some of those things go really fast. It'd be awesome. That's what I had to do. My rear U joint went out in my truck. So I drove the race car to the hotel and the parts store. Yep. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You know, my car is a street car, 100%. It is not a purpose-built race car or a class-specific car. My car was not built around a class. My car was built around going fast and having fun and being able to do race week and stuff on it. So if I think I can be 2350. I think that's what the sticker said on my windshield in my class. And my car weighed 2420 with me in it. And so I could lose 150, 160 pounds, 170 pounds out of my car for my class. And I don't see the reason to cut my car up just to be class specific. I want to be able to drive my car. It's an argument that my wife and I have quite often about Che Bella and whether or not it's a race car or a street car. She calls it a race car. I call it a street car because it can be driven on the street. It's currently registered and insured. Kevin Nelson on the YouTube channel. Yeah, I watched his channel, dude. I saw him at the junkyard or something pulling one of those motors out and talking about it. So it's really cool that you mentioned him. I did watch his channel, and that's what got me interested in it. My car can be driven on the street and for thousands and thousands of miles, so I believe it's a street car. Some of, if not all of the cars in the sport class are specifically designed around that class. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with building a class-specific car. Mine is just different. So that's another one of the reasons why I am so proud of this. I took a car that was a street and did very well. And hopefully I'll continue to do well. Yeah, there's trailblazers all over the place in the Phoenix yards. So that's kind of a flex for me because, you know, I could have lost 30 or 40 pounds just by unbolting my trailer hitch. But it's funny because we were in the staging lanes and I kept walking up to my car and kicking because I leave the receiver and the ball and everything. I was kicking my receiver and I told Rafa when he breaks, I can tow him back with my trailer hitch. And, you know, I have a good time with all the guys out there. I really get along with everybody and it's fun. I like messing around with people and having fun, but it's kind of a flex for me to be able to keep up with the fastest guys in our class and do it in a car that's not all cut up, you know. And don't get me wrong, they're all, you know, they have weight limitations as well. But so what those guys, a lot of you Dune guys maybe don't know is they cut these cars up, right? They cut all the weight out of them and then they move all that weight into the front, in front of the front tires via a weight plate. So if they cut 70, they get the car at weight and then they take another 50 or 60 pounds out of it. They transfer that weight up onto the weight plate. Or if does my Tesla have a roll cage? That's a street car. Does Brianna's Ghia have a cage? That's a street car. No, but your Tesla makes 500 freaking horsepower. Just because my car's safer than yours. So they move all that weight in front of the front tire for traction. So again, you know, I believe that those are purpose-built cars. And that, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. If I don't know if I would ever do that. I like to be able to enjoy my car anytime I want to. So Holly Terminator or Terminator X Max. Raymond, what are you putting it on? If you want transmission control, you have to use the X Max. If it's going in a buggy with a 2D or something or a turbo 350, then you can just use the Terminator. The X Max is what the transmission control has. That's what I have in my Chevelle. So I have a Terminator X in this car, and I have a Terminator X Max in my Chevelle. Cut up cars to me are not really street cars. My cab would be almost Jason. Yeah. You know, and it's supposed to have, like, for our class in sport, you're supposed to have the spirit of a street car, right? So you got to have carpet, door panels, 2 seats, you know, all that. But, you know, I again, like I said, I've had a lot of people ask me why I don't cut my car up or why don't I build a car specifically for that class, and it's just not what I'm interested in. I like to be able, if my car's sitting here in the shop and I have to go get something or go somewhere, I'll hop in that thing and I'll drive it, you know, because if you have all these cars and you can't drive them and they're just specific for a certain, believe it or not, you guys, this car is street legal. It is currently registered and insured for the street. I have a full-size license plate for this. And if you don't think that I'll put my street tires on this and drive it to the liquor store, out your mind. I will absolutely do it. There's actually a video on my channel of me driving this thing around my old neighborhood in California trying to get pulled over. So everything I have, I want to be able to drive. Oh, it's the same weekend at Kearney. Okay, well, we're not doing that. Definitely not doing that. Cut up cars to me are not really street cars. Yeah, it's all in perspective, right? I like to be able to hop in my car and just be able to drive it. You know, that's what I build them for. I build them to drive, not to sit. Unfortunately, the Volkswagen over there is a street car, but it's really hard to drive with a spool in it. It's hard to turn it. So with a spool, the back tires are locked up all the time. So you go to turn, the car slows down. Really hard on the axles. So for a buggy, regular Terminator. Yep, regular Terminator. So it's why I did not drive that car very much. I did put a couple 100 miles on it since I've owned it. I cruised it around quite a bit. Took it to the store and every now and then. But also that car has a switch panel in it. It doesn't even have a key, so I can't lock the doors. So, yes. Yeah. So, like I said, I like my cars. I like to be able to drive them. I build them to drive. And now, don't get me wrong. If I had a purpose-built race car, that's what it would be for. But I'm just not that kind of guy, you know. I want to be able to drive my stuff. All right, I'm gonna go a few more minutes, guys, and then I got to bug out of here. Well, that sucks that it's the same weekend, but hey, it is what it is. Same weekend. Ah, well. Oh, well. Oh, well. I love Matt. I want to support what he's doing. Yep, it'll be in the cornfields racing. Yep. So I would really like to do sick week eventually. I've never done that deal in Florida. Hopefully not with 50-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, right. I think that would be awesome. I think the weather is awesome out there in Florida during that time. There was a guy at Mega Week. His wife forced him to drive the car from Texas to Tulsa and said, if we can't drive it to the first track, we ain't going. Oh, good for her. She's gangster. So the first time I did Rocky Mountain Race Week, I did it in that. I did Road Week and followed everybody. It was friggin' epic. Yeah, Stick Week looks like a real anyone his class. That's rad. I know there's some guys who drive their cars from Canada down for Rocky Mountain Race Week. I think Brent will know who. I'm sure Brent knows who they are. Freaking awesome, dude. They drive all the way from Canada and they do race week and then drive their race cars home. That's a hell of an adventure. Probably 2 or 3 weeks of their time with all the traveling. Yeah, Sick Week looks fun. I have some old Volkswagen friends of mine from California that do Sick Week. And they've been encouraging me. They were trying to get me to take my bug out there and hang out with them and do Sick Week with them. Unfortunately, like I said, that car's not going to be mine anymore. So it's going to a new home. But I'd love to take my Honda out there and do Sick Week. I didn't see from any of the footage that I saw, I don't think I saw any Hondas doing Sick Week at all this year, or Sick Summer anyway. So it's just it's a hike. Yeah, that the guy took his Corvette to Sick Week, the Alaska race, then Rocky Mountain. Wow, that's freaking awesome. Yeah, isn't that the guy that has the Corvette and then tows the trailer that looks like a Corvette also? I know that car was on Race Week too a couple times when I was out there doing it. Cool. Oh, I think it's starting to rain finally. That's the one. Yeah, that's what I thought. That guy's cool. I talked to him a bunch when I was doing Race Week. So I've done Race Week 3 times. I did it once in that and then twice in my Civic. The first time I did it in my Civic was one hell of an adventure. I lost a motor. I spun a bearing. Didn't lose a motor. I spun a bearing. We put new bearings in my motor in a fucking wheat field in the middle of Kansas. I lost a co-driver. That's when I picked up Shane as my co-driver. Bearings in the parking lot. That was a dirt road in a wheat field in Kansas, 200 miles from nowhere. And that was just insane. That was an insane adventure. So much, James, which is funny because we were at the PFI event 2 weeks ago, and we were sitting around afterwards, and Jamie was telling the story about all the things that happened to us on that weekend or that week, and it was freaking epic. Yeah, Shane is gangster, dude. He is definitely the cheat code when it comes to Race Week. So the following year, I did Race Week again. Shane was my co-driver as well, and I actually did well that year. We got the Perseverance Award and Rookie of the Year because of Shane. No other reason. And Jamie and the guys at PFI for not letting me quit. And then the following year, I had Shane as my co-driver again, and we actually did really well. I ran like a 10:20 average for the whole week. I lost a transmission. I would have taken third in the stick shift class had I not lost a transmission that day. I had to turn in like a 12-second time slip, which jacked my average up, put it down to like 10:20. Oh, cool, Raymond. Hit me up, dude. Well, I'll let you know what day we're going out there. See the training real quick, boys. It's official. It's training now. So. Oh. All right, guys. I'm going to go another 10 minutes here and then jump on out of here. Yeah, that year I lost the transmission. That was a bummer, but I was trying to go faster and faster. Great question, John. The K-Series boat. The K-Series boat is probably no more. The motor got sold to a guy in my Dune group, and it goes going in his K-Series powered sand car. And Tom can always build another motor, but I believe that the boat is being sold. And the guy, he's selling it to a friend of his, and it's probably going to probably get a big block put in it. So Tom's making some transitions. I think he's going back to Tennessee for a little while here pretty soon. And he's really, really focused on his RSX. His goal is to bring his RSX to a PFI SpeedFest this year, whether it's the next one or the last one. Come hell or high water, that car, he may not show up, but I'll make sure that the car's there. He's really going hard on that car right now. He's actually in Tennessee right now with his daughter, visiting family and moving some trailers and stuff around, but he'll be back next week. But yeah, he's going hard on his RSX. He really, really wants to get that car running. And the Canadian Chuck Norris. He's really, really excited to get that car running. Whether or not he's going to drive it, I'm sure he'll do some shakedown passes in it, but I think he's got a driver in mind for that car. So maybe some cool updates on that coming very, very soon. I'm going out to Cali next week, sometime next week on the weekend. Nate, see you later. NASFAB, later. To my godson graduated high school, so I'm going to his graduation party, and I'm going to try some point in time before I come home to get out there to FCS race and get some video of Tom's RSX and all the stuff they've been doing to it. I'll give you guys an update on that, and hopefully Tom will be out there at the same time. So that'll be really cool. Hang out with him for a while, and so yeah, that's what's going on with him and his boat right now. The boat's actually in Havasu. A tube chassis RSX, yes sir. The orange car, Tom's car. It is H22 powered. It is got a Fortin sequential in it, I believe. I think it's a Fortin sequential. Yeah, it's a sick ass car. Crazy. Funny, when I'm on a live talking about Ghia and he just texts me. I'll get back to him in a few minutes. Was that Levon's old car? I don't know whose old car that was. I don't think so. I think Levon, Brent would know. I think Levon's old car, somebody else is building that now. I'm not sure where Tom's RSX came from. I know Tom's car was not an RSX before he bought the chassis. It was something else, and then he put an RSX body on it, I believe. Yeah, Havasu's huge. Yeah, it's I got a metal building, so you're going to hear it. Yeah, it's coming down pretty good. Okay. All right. All right. Sand carp stuff. Easy, fast night for our sweepers. Yeah. When am I coming to visit St. Anthony's? Billy, I would love to. This thing's supposed to be way further than it is, but we just got so far behind, and it was at Powder forever. I'm going to try to get out there before the season starts. Hey, but if you're in that area in St. Anthony's, I have a friend out there right now that's duning that needs a starter for an S4 tranny. Is there a buggy shop out there? Is there someone that sells parts in St. Anthony's? I have two friends out there duning right now. Oh, you're in Boise. Okay. Do you know if there's a buggy shop out there or someone that sells parts? As if there isn't, there should be, and maybe I should move there. I changed the pump in the pouring rain with a tornado warning. Hell yeah, that's gangster, dude. Start at Idaho Dunes RV and ask them. Okay, cool. I'll let him know. He called me earlier to see if I knew anybody. They're our camping site. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're camped somewhere right in that area, so they might be camped there. Who knows? Holy crap, it's raining. Gotcha. All right, guys, if there's no more questions, man, I'm going to jump off of here. It's kind of cool hanging out with you guys for a couple hours. I'll try to do these a little bit more. Definitely want to do a yeah, I know the camping situation is different. I don't do snow. Yeah, but I would only have to go out there for the dune season. I hate snow. It's too flipping cold. Yeah, definitely. I didn't even put out a notice that I was going to do this one, bro. I just jumped on and do it. I was out here messing with my car. So, yeah, guys, thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. I do have a video coming out pretty soon about this. I got a bunch of editing to do and a bunch of other stuff. I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off this week. So, yeah, guys, thanks for joining, and we'll catch you next time.